All right, episode 6 of the ATD baseball podcast. Um, Me and Matt today. It was Bobby, Kyle, and myself on Monday. I was at work. I sounded like shit. I still sound like shit. I sound a little better, but Matt is here. Matt, how you doing today?
I've been better,
Should
in
have I
more
shouldn't
ways
have
than
asked that
one.
question.
You know, I got a little sickness going on, but we're battling through that. And then, of course, the Phillies, we're gonna dive right into it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Phillies get swept by the Dodgers. It happens. You know what I'm really curious about, though, Mello, because I don't know the answer to this question. Today is May 4th. People say, May the 4th be with you. You a Star Wars guy at all?
So I'm not a Star Wars guy. Um, we had a Star Wars night at Dodger Stadium 2 nights ago. Wasn't feeling it. It's not for me. I understand people who enjoy Star Wars. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. Like, if you like to watch those movies, I completely get it. It's just not my thing. What about you?
I'm not like a Star Wars nerd or like I wouldn't even say like a fan, but like if somebody throws a movie on, a Star Wars movie on, and I'm there and I'm watching it, I mean I'll get what's going on. I get the general gist of it, and they can be enjoyable, but I'm not gonna pick that out as a movie to watch. So
Yeah, if somebody puts a Star Wars movie on at the house, like at a party or something, or I get together, I'll just find a game on my phone or something. I'll just put my headphones on.
yeah, I'm a step above that maybe. Like it's okay, but I'm not gonna seek it out to watch. I'm not doing anything crazy for May 4th today, but
Yeah, I mean, have you seen any of them in theaters or no? Have you
I
actually,
No,
or
nope, none in
Disney
theaters.
Plus, nothing like that?
No, I've watched some of them, with
Okay,
friends and stuff, friends' houses, but nothing, not dropping any money on it to watch them.
okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, um, May the fourth be with you. Yeah. I'll say that at least. I'll give you that. But we do have some topics to discuss today. You heard it at the top. Dodgers swept the Phillies. We'll touch on that. I'm excited to talk about that.
I am not.
The Rays swept the the Rays swept the Pirates. Your 2023 World Series matchup. We got to see it over the past week. And Cardinals and White Sox. We got an interesting question that we want to address and maybe see what the viewers think about it because it's a very interesting question and it's honestly it's a fair conversation to have about a month into the season.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do our top three NL and AL teams, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you got.
Yeah, but same here. And lastly, I this should have been right under. This is my fault. This should have been right under after the Dodgers Phillies. The Padres World Series is coming up this weekend against the Dodgers. Dodgers and Padres play each other for the first time since that division series matchup last October. Don't need to discuss who won that. We know who won. But San Diego is preparing for their World Series for the next 3 nights, so we'll discuss that. So let's not continue any more time and jump right into it.
All right. We'll start with the positive here. The Phillies were gathering some momentum. We were talking about this before we started recording. They took 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. They took 2 out of 3 from the Astros. They're rolling into LA, feeling pretty good. We're bouncing back. We're above 500. Bryce Harper is coming back. Check out my shirt here for YouTube watchers. And check out all of our merch that we got on link in our bio, Instagram bio. Check that out. Gonna have some new drops hopefully soon. But anyway, Bryce Harper coming back, second game of the season. Or second game of the series, I mean. We're feeling pretty good. Phillies lose the first one. Yeah, whatever. We'll bounce back. I know. The Phillies didn't bounce back at all. If they lose the series, they get swept by the Dodgers. Melo, take it away.
Dodgers are on a 6 game winning streak. They're on an 8-2. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Here come the Dodgers. Here come the Dodgers. They scared me in the month of April. They really did. I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna lose 80 games this year. We're not gonna make the postseason." Listen, I'm not saying we're going to the World Series or anything. I'm not saying that we're gonna go on this run, but I really liked what I saw over this past week. They not only swept the Phillies, they swept the Cardinals to go 6-0 on their homestand. And finally, for the first time this season, they got good starting pitching, and at the same time, their offense was clicking. All six, they had a slow. They only had one game where the offense didn't show up, and that was a 1-0 win. But that game, you had vintage Kershaw. He went 7 innings, struck out a bunch of guys. That's what you want to see. In the other 5 games, they've scored 7, 6, 13, 13, and 10 runs. So offense is clicking and you're getting good pitching. So that's what you want to see going into San Diego. Like I said a minute ago, the World Series for San Diego, they're going to be ready for that. But small sample size, after kind of a bumpy road trip at Pittsburgh and Chicago. But I'm okay. I'm pleased with them. Very, very pleased with them.
Yeah, and obviously, last game, everybody knows it went viral on social media. Max Muncy with the walk-off grand slam off of ex-Dodger Craig Kimbrell, reliever coming out of the pen for the Phillies, supposed closer. He hasn't been closing anything for the Phillies this year. Been terrible. I know that you can't just necessarily slot guys around out there because they get set in their spots, but like Jose Alvarado has been dominant this season. Like, give him a chance to be your closer. Kimbrel, he's out of his prime. He clearly hasn't got it anymore. Melo can attest to that as he was, like I said, on the Dodgers last season. Moved to the Phillies, no success. Give Alvarado a shot. If it doesn't work in his first 2 starts, you can move him back to his current role. But you got to give him a chance at this point because it's just been bad. The Phillies bullpen has actually been decent. Now the closer role, it's sort of whoever's job at this point. It's not Kimbrel every day, you know, but throwing him out there in a high leverage spot like that, I don't think is the move at all. And really, you can't blame the bullpen for everything, but you can blame the starting pitching a lot because Aaron Nola, I'm looking directly at you. Where has that ace stuff been this year? It's been nowhere to be found. And our additions, Matt Strom, I will give props to Matt Strom. He's been decent this year. But I'll just read you some stats from Philly starters. Aaron Nola, 4.64 ERA this year. Wheeler 3.86. Now Wheeler's FIP, taking the fielding into account, is 2.53, so that's not too bad. But Bailey Falter has been atrocious. 0-5 this year. He's lost every game he's pitched in. He has a 5 ERA. Taijuan Walker, very disappointing for me. We brought him in with some hopes that he could be a solid 3 guy in our rotation. Oh, he's got almost 7 ERA this year. And like I said, Matt Strom, only decent pitcher so far. Well, Wheeler's been okay, but Strom, 3.38 ERA. I don't know. Like, when's Aaron Nola's got off to some slow starts before, but when do you start to get a little concerned about this? He hasn't been phenomenal last 2 seasons, but like we need a little something here. We should be in the 3 ERAs for Nola, not 4s.
Right, and you mentioned it right before you said all that. Um, you don't understand why Kimbrel was out there in a 6-6 tie game. You just said, these guys are used to their slots. And that actually happened the same game, just in inning prior with the Dodgers. Um, Caleb Ferguson came in the 8th inning, he got the first 3 outs, and he got the first out of the 9th inning. And then Dave Roberts took him out. They brought in Brusdar Graterol, who, yeah, he throws high velocity, but he can't strike anybody out. He can't get anybody to strike out right now. And that was the reason why the Phillies were able to tie the game, and that's what led to the whole Max Muncy thing. But sometimes you just have to throw the analytics out of the window. And I know these managers are never going to do that because that's what their employers tell them what to do. but it's one of those things like can we try once just to ride the hot hand? Is that too much to ask? That's the only one little small nitpick if I can bark on anything that the Dodgers did over this past week. Why are you taking the hot hand out of the game and bringing in a guy, Bruce Gradwell, who, yeah, you have to get 2 outs, but I think he walked a guy, then Harper got a base hit, and then I think it was Bohm who got the tying knock or something, I forget. But will you throw the analytics crap out of the room, please? Like I know these managers are never gonna do it, but that kind of bothered me.
Yeah, it's tough that you feel like how we dog on the umpires for not having a little awareness for like giving pitch clock violations out. I mean, sure, it's a slightly different thing, but they're somewhat comparable. Managers have a little be aware of what's going on in the game here. If your guy's out there dominating, don't just go and pull him just because analytics say that he should be out at the end of the eighth inning, or he should be out in the ninth inning. So just be aware of what's going on. Know that this isn't a great situation to put my guy to take this guy out of and put another guy in. Like you're saying, I agree with you completely. But you wanna preview the Padres Dodgers series or
Yeah, let's jump into it. I don't think you
all
want to
right?
talk the Phillies anymore, Matt. Doesn't seem like it.
No, not really. Glad Harper's back. That's it.
Yeah, that was cool to see him back. A lot of people were excited, even Dodger fans. I was surprised. Even Dodger fans were excited to see Harper, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, Dodgers Padres this weekend. 3 game set in San Diego. The Dodgers and Padres will meet next weekend in LA, so I'll be excited for that. Tatis, you're gonna hear it from me, but so we'll get to that. We'll get to that next week. But um, this is the first time since last October these teams have met up and things have changed. You can argue that the Padres got better and the Dodgers got a little not worse, but they came back down to everybody else's level. So this is good. This is the right time for these teams to be playing. You don't want to see the Dodgers and Padres opening weekend or the first 2 weeks of the season when guys are starting to figure things out. They're trying different things. At least with now you're the first weekend in May, you've played 20 something games, so we can actually see these teams collide. And I think it's going to be a good series. Do I do I have to give a prediction? I mean, I would love the Dodgers to completely go in there and sweep, but it's excuse me, it's gonna be one of those things where the Padres, no matter what happens this weekend, they're gonna say, "Well, we beat you in October." Doesn't matter. It only counts in October. So it doesn't matter what happens this weekend. Padres are gonna say that, but Dodgers will take 2 out of 3. What do you think?
I mean, you aren't ready to call it a rivalry yet. Some of the outside people probably are willing to. I am. I'd say it's towing the line at least. It's getting pretty close to be calling a rivalry here. As Melo is absolutely coughing up a hairball.
I'm
Um,
good.
but I think that I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for the Padres to come to LA. Honestly, I wish that was this week because I want to see the Dodgers fans absolutely boo Tatis. But
Oh, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
yeah, but I am very, this is great to see that the retooled Padres, they brought in Bogarts now, and they got their guys back. They got Tatis back now. And then the Dodgers, like you said, came down to earth a little more. They lost Trey Turner. But who's slotted to pitch this week? Is Kershaw up? Do you know?
I think it goes Syndergaard, which I'm not excited for that, but
Yeah, I thought
uh,
they'd turn him around by now.
no, it's Kershaw Friday, Dustin May Saturday, Urias on Sunday. And then the
Nice.
Padres are going to throw out Musgrove Friday, Darvish on Saturday. So the Dodgers will tee off on him. And then Snell on Sunday when he hasn't looked that good this season. So it's there to take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I feel like 2 out of 3 is a good prediction. Honestly, I like that. Dodgers rolling in with momentum, like we talked about. Uh, got their good pitchers lined up, and now the Padres have probably who they would choose to line up. Like those are probably three of
Same thing with the
their three
Dodgers.
best pitchers. Yeah, but they just haven't been performing as well. Musgrove, he's going to be glad to be back down to normal height, as he's not going to be playing in Mexico City, pitching in Mexico City. So
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
unless the Dodgers hit like 5 bombs off of him again, uh, I think he'll be happy to be back in San Diego.
yeah. But um, hopefully the Padres will allow Dodger fans to get tickets this time because they didn't allow us to go down there and take over their stadium during the postseason. So I
Yeah.
hope they lifted that little restriction. So, like I said, the Dodgers have nothing to prove. The Padres have everything to prove because they're supposed to be winning this division, which they haven't started doing yet. Dodgers are still trying to figure things out. They're worried about bigger goals coming this season. Same thing with the Padres. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not trying to little brother them, even though it sounds like I am. But both teams shouldn't be worried about that rivalry. They should just focus on trying to play good baseball. And it starts tomorrow. So should be a good series.
Will there
Either
be a
way.
fight?
Oh yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
will start running their mouth. Oh, on the team or in the field? In the field or in the stands? Because those are two different things.
On the field, between the two series coming up, the next two series, will there be one fight?
I'm gonna say no.
Mm.
I know everybody wants me to say, yeah, we want to see a fight, but listen,
They're just pretty rare.
Yeah, well, they're pretty rare now. And Freddie, Mookie, and Kershaw are the leaders of the clubhouse, and I think they're gonna pull everybody aside before the series and say, don't buy into it. You know, don't just play your game. This is another series. Let's just keep playing Dodger baseball. That's what I think.
Now you know Machado is probably on the other side, and he's trying to get the boys fired up. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna run our mouths in this series. We are gonna talk all the crap that we want to. We're gonna be, dogging on them all game long." And I don't know. I wish that I could say there'd be a fight, but like you said, they're just that doesn't happen really too much anymore. But I'm
Yeah,
down
and
to see it if
and
it does happen.
yeah, I am too. I'll be honest. And uh, your two managers, Roberts and Nevin, they're not gonna allow that to happen.
Yeah,
They're not gonna allow that. Now I'm sure all these guys probably want to say something in the back of their heads. This guy thinks it's like, but it's May, Look, the Padres. Last time I checked, the Padres are in third place. Dodgers are in first. So, look, it seems like nothing's changed, but it can all flip within a week. So
yeah,
let's just have a good series. And remember too, with the way the schedule is now, they took out division games to add more interleague play. So these divisional games really mean something now. They mean a lot
definitely.
more than they did. So Dodgers, you just got to be focused on that. Win the matchup so you have all the tiebreakers and stuff when it hopefully it doesn't need to come down to it in September, but you might need them. So just play your game.
Between that and Padres, it's your best chance to gain games on the Dodgers. When you're playing them head to
Right.
head, that's your best chance to catch up. So
Yeah.
meaningful for both teams, definitely.
All right, moving on. Um, Rays and Pirates played over the week, and believe it or not, that was actually an anticipated series. Everybody kind of wanted to see that, which who had that on your bingo card coming into this year?
Not
But
me.
yeah, not me either. Rays ended up sweeping the Pirates, and we have a question for you. Uh, is this a reality check for the Pirates or just a bump in the road? Matt, you came up with it. You can answer the question first, so then I'll say what I think.
Yeah, it's a tough question because the you can't discount the awesome start that they've been off to at all because it's been historic and they're leading the NL Central still after getting swept by the Rays. They're still leading the NL Central. But also, you look at hey, great teams shouldn't be getting swept. You know, Pirates, how are you getting swept by the Rays? Phillies, how are you getting swept by the Dodgers? Same thing, no. But if it was you would expect this like 2 years ago. Pirates getting swept by the Rays, but this year is supposed to be different. You would think they'd come away with one game, and the last game today it was close, 2-3. The other games it was 8-1 Rays and 4-1 Rays. To me, you land a little bit in the middle because it's not just a bump in the road because a bump in the road for good teams, you got to win at least one game, it seems like. But I don't think it's a full on snap back to reality either because, hey, they put up great numbers so far this season. At the very least, come the end of the season, they're third place in the division, probably, jockeying for a possible wild card. And with the NL, it's a little tough because there's a lot of good teams um, that are going to be competing with them. To me, yeah, like I said, in the middle, and it probably leans a little to just a bump in the road. They've been good. I don't want to discount that, and I don't want to count them out after just one series. What do you think, though?
So yeah, I'm kind of in the same line as you. To me, but I'm gonna say it a little differently. The Rays are kind of on a historic pace right now. They're beating everybody. So if you're the Pirates fan, it's like we just lost to the best team in the sport right now. What are we supposed to do? They were what 15-0 coming out of the gate. What are we supposed to do? We
Yeah,
put up a good fight. I mean, it looks bad because you got swept, but you can talk yourself into well, we put up a good fight, I guess. Learn from it, continue. But for me, it's like I don't want to call the Rays a juggernaut because they're not there yet, and just because of the recognition and players and stuff. But Rays are really good, and I think as the weeks go on, we're kind of expecting, all right, they're probably going to be there at the end. I don't mean World Series, but they're going to be in a playoff position. So to me, it's like the Rays are just that damn good right now.
that's fair. And would you say it's fair to say that most of baseball fans are probably thinking, "Hey, Rays are going to be there at the end," but Pirates, we're kind of expecting them to fall off a little bit?
I agree. I think by this point, I think the Rays they're gonna figure out a way to win their 90 games, get into a wild card spot, or who knows, even win the division. Um, with the Pirates, we're kind of just waiting for them to eventually fall off the cliff and like, yeah, see, we told you this was just they had a good April and that was it. Which I'm not hoping for that. I hope the Pirates continue to win and prove everybody wrong. But that's I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and we get killed for not having Pirates in the top 10 in our power rankings when they were like they had the second best record in Major League Baseball. It's like, well, you got to take into account, a little bit of where they were last year. They were probably I'm guessing bottom five team last year, but you can't you can't go all off of last year and you can't go all off of this year. So you got to find a way to blend it in the middle, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. Figure out if they're going to be good for the rest of the season or not. Two teams though that so far have not been good this season. Cardinals and
Jesus.
White Sox. Yeah, it's been bad. I think they're both 10 and 21. Um, I'll pull up the standings here, take a look, but I think that's what it is. Um, Come on. Yeah. Yep. Cardinals 10 and 22 and White Sox 10 and 22. Okay, so they both lost another game. Um is Are they dead? Are the Cardinals and White Sox dead, Melo? Is one dead and the other still
Oh
alive?
man. See, this is the thing. They both play in probably the well, at least the White Sox they play in the worst division in the sport right now, and you can make an argument that the NL Central is just as bad. But I don't want to. I'm not gonna say they're completely dead just because of the divisions they play in. Do I feel confident that they're gonna get out of this mess and make a run? No. but I can't rule them dead yet, just simply just because of the division they play in.
All right. Um, for me, the Cardinals, I you got two MVP candidates on your team there at the corner infield, and then the outfield is pretty stacked as well. And well, not pretty stacked, but you got pieces. You got names there. Tommy Edman broke out last year. He's been pretty good. Um, Pitching on the Cardinals end, you need some work there. Starters have not been good. Jack Flaherty just got shelled today. It was like 2 innings pitched and like 10 earned runs, so that's terrible. But I can't I can't call them dead because I feel like Goldie and Arenado, if they are able to carry the team, so to say, that's enough to propel them to at least like not dead position where they could contend for a wild card. Even their division is still, I'm not gonna say up for grabs. Pirates, and well, everybody's in front of them, but Pirates and Brewers and Cubs all could contend for the NL Central Trophy. The White Sox, on the other hand, allow me to call you guys dead because
Whoa,
what have I seen to make me think it's been different this year?
that's true.
Nothing. And when we previewed the AL Central, Bobby said something, and I was like, you know what? He's right. He was like, how can it be any worse than last year? Like, they have to be better. Well, Bobby, the White Sox insisted upon proving you wrong because they have been just as bad, if not worse, than last year. And it seems to not make any sense because on paper they got all these pieces, all these names: Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, and the pitching staff: Dylan Cease, Giolito, Lance Lynn. But none of them have been able to perform this year, really, or they get injured. And I just don't understand, like, what's the issue? You got rid of Tony La Russa. You brought in Pedro Grifol. Well, that didn't change it. Excuse me, that didn't seem to change anything this year. You've been just as bad. I don't understand, and I don't see anything changing really.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I'm not ready to say that they're dead because that you came out and said it and you're gonna stand on that. I'm not ready to do that yet, but you definitely did make a very compelling case that they are in fact dead, but I'm not ready for that yet. Um, yeah, they're like you just hit it all right on the head. There's been nothing that says that it's gonna change, and I keep going back to this. It's like, what the hell happened in 3 years? It's like they were on the rise to be one of the best teams, not just in the American League, but in baseball.
Yeah,
And now you're in the same territory with the Royals. Like, what happened? They only all that after all that talent they have, and they only have a division series to show for it, and that's it.
they were people's World Series prediction last year.
Yes.
I mean, and just to compound on the reasoning of why I think they're dead, the Guardians have not been good this year. Their offense has been absolutely horrid. And I have reason to think that it's going to be better. If you look at the pieces there, um, it's sort of the same as the White Sox, but we've seen them do good in the last 2 years, just last year. So, I have reason to think that they're going to be able to turn it around offensively. And then the Twins have been winning the division, and they haven't been, they've come down. They were pretty good, like really good to start the season. Now they came down a little bit. They're still a good team. And they're winning the division, obviously. Now, Tigers and Royals, I mean, that's a whole different story of bad. Even though the Tigers just finished the sweep of the Mets today, shout out Tigers. We appreciate it. It evens us out with the Dodgers sweeping the Phillies. But, I
Moral
don't see,
victories.
yeah, I don't see um, the White Sox coming back from this, really. And you brought it up last week. Trade Dodgers, Tim Anderson.
Let's do it. I want to see it.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So I'm not opposed to the White Sox continuing to lose. Not opposed to it, but I want to see if this continues. What's gonna be their white flag to say, you know what? This isn't working. Let's blow it up. Will it be that Tim Anderson trade, or will it be another big piece that we haven't talked about yet? I'm very interested to know because we're gonna know the first move that the White Sox make is gonna tell are they waving the white flag, or are they gonna continue to try and pretend and lie to themselves that this is gonna turn around. I'm very interested to know when that is.
Yeah, like you said, we'll know. And it's interesting to see, if there's a certain point in the season, they get swept again. They get swept by a team and they're like, all right, this puts us, like 12 games out and we're like a week or 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. It's time to start calling people up, calling up the Dodgers, calling up these other teams that are looking for a shortstop, a starting pitcher, outfielders, honestly, everywhere. Um, I will say one positive thing about the White Sox. I
And
am
what that
so
is.
glad to see that Liam Hendriks has beat cancer and he is coming back, um, starting his rehab to be back on the major league level. Congratulations, Liam. Great to see that for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, so glad you mentioned that. So awesome to see. He had that cool T-shirt that he was wearing. That was awesome.
Yeah,
And I actually got to get his autograph and take a picture with him at the All-Star game last year. Super nice guy.
that's
Signed.
awesome.
I said this last time. Signed everybody's autograph. Super nice. Great guy. I'm so happy that he's okay. And can't wait to see him back on the mound this year. Guy's
Yeah,
electric.
yes, for sure. Love his attitude and his demeanor when he's out there on the mound, just bringing all the passion that he has. Uh, Phillies could use him, but we'll talk about that
Dodgers
maybe a
could
little
use him.
later. We'll talk about that a little later in the season. Let's close it out with this, Melo. Let's give
Let's do it.
each of our top three NL and AL teams. We're both NL guys. Let's start with the NL. I'll go first unless you
Okay.
are prepared to if you want to.
I'm prepared, but it sounds like you want to bat leadoff, so go right ahead.
All right. I'll start it off. My top three teams so far. And this isn't I'm not gonna just name you can't just go off the top three, division leaders or, top three records. You can if that's what you honestly think is the best three teams. But if there's reason to believe that another team is better, what's there to say? Record could be a little different. All right. Coming in at number three, give me the Milwaukee Brewers. Second place in their division right now, 18-3. They're behind the Pirates, and this is my record case right here. Record's not always everything. I think the Brewers can build off the success they've had and actually maybe win the NL Central. Brewers, I know this is crazy to you. Win the NL Central and do something in the playoffs. Come on, we've been waiting for this, ever since you assembled this team. Number two, Melo, your Dodgers deserve it. LA Dodgers coming in at number two.
There we go.
What
There we
more can you
go.
say? They just swept the Phillies. They swept the Cardinals. And I'm looking forward to see their momentum continuing against the Padres. The number one spot, though, it's tough to admit when a rival's good, but the Atlanta Braves, they have been damn good this year. They have been debatably the best team in the league. I mean, sure, the Rays have been unbelievable as well, trust me. But the Braves starters this year are insane, a whole nother level. And I thought maybe this would be the year the Braves don't win the NL East, but boy, I was probably wrong. It looks like they're coming for it for like the 100th time in a row. But yeah, there we go. Number one, Braves. Number two, Dodgers. Number three, Brewers for me. Who you got, Mello?
So coming in at number, I'm. How do I want to do this? Starting at number three, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to him. Give me the Pittsburgh Pirates, third best team in the National League right now. Listen, I know I'm probably gonna be I'm gonna probably be told I'm a hypocrite. Because look what I just said about them a couple minutes ago, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
No, that's the thing. It's tough.
And if you're asking me right now, on May 4th, 2023, Pirates have one of the best records in the league, in the National League. So they've earned the right, to me, to be number three. That's my feeling. Number two, I mean, I could just say it now. We're gonna have the same top two.
Okay.
Dodgers, very impressive. Got to keep it up. And then number one, it's the Atlanta Braves. National League, probably. We're talking about who's going to win the division, the Dodgers or the Padres. Who's it going to go through? It looks like it's going to go through Atlanta again this year. If you want to get to the World Series in the National League, you're going to have to go through Atlanta again.
Phillies did it last year. I didn't think they were going to be able to, but somehow they were able to make it through ATL. But that's what I expected. The top two were pretty clearly defined. Third place, there was a little competition. I'm surprised you didn't go Padres, right?
Eh.
We'll move on to the AL. I'll start us off here. Coming in at number three, give me the Baltimore Orioles.
Ooh.
Second place in the AL East right now, sitting at 21-10. And I mean, what can you say? They've been off to a hot start. This is what they were expected to do, build off of, well, they're exceeding expectations, but they were expected to be good this year, coming off of a surprising season last year. Adley has been amazing. They're starting pitching. They don't have the names. They got Grayson Rodriguez, and that's like the big name in their rotation right now. But their guys have been doing it for him. Tyler Wells, shout out. He's been pitching pretty good for them. Kyle Gibson, he's been doing pretty good. Jorge Mateo won our shortstop for All MLB team for April and the small portion of March. But Yiner Cano in the bullpen, he's been awesome. Didn't give up a hit so far. But yeah, give me Orioles at three. Now the only reason that I went with Orioles at three and Rangers at number two
Ooh.
is Rangers. I feel like they got a little more experience to him. Corey Seager, he's been there and done that with the Dodgers. He appreciates that time with the Dodgers. It taught him a little bit.
Damn
And
right.
then Marcus Semien, Jonah Heim has been awesome. DeGrom, obviously, he's on the IL again, of course, because it's his vacation home, it seems like.
Yes.
Um, but other than that, he's been great. Evaldi, Martin Perez has been awesome. Adolis Garcia had that amazing game. He's been off to a pretty good start to the season. So yeah, give me Rangers at two. And number one, I mean, this is obvious. They're the best team in the league right now. The Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay. Uh, so we have the same top three teams, just in different orders.
All right.
Number three, I'm going with the Texas Rangers. Um, I like the way they started. You hit it again right on the head before this. This is what needed to happen in Texas. You needed these guys to start playing like how they're supposed to. And Vegas gave them that crazy number of over-unders to win this season. I'm not saying they're going to hit it, but they're trending in the right direction. And if you're a Texas Rangers fans, you're probably saying, finally, this is the team that we were promised when we got this brand new stadium and when we signed all these guys two off seasons ago. So they very impressive. Now I could have given it to honestly, I could have given it to the Angels too, but eh. Texas kind of came out the gate a little bit better, a
Come
little
on,
bit
it's the
faster
Melo
start.
bias. It's okay. It's
Oh
okay
yeah,
to admit
definitely,
it. You don't
definitely.
like the Angels.
They don't like me apparently, so
Well, true, true.
we don't. We're a love hating relationship. Uh, Number two, give me the damn Baltimore Orioles, man. That is so awesome to see. Again, you hit it right on the head. I said it at the beginning also. And listen, I don't know how much the All-Star game means to you, but to me, the All-Star game still means a lot. I said Adley Rushman was going to represent and be your starting catcher in the American League this year, and he's on his way to do that. I don't know, I know the All-Star game doesn't mean a lot to anybody anymore. That's changed in the last couple of years. I understand that, but to me, the All-Star game means a lot still. So Adley Rushman is probably going to be your American League starting catcher, and that's awesome to see. Keep it up. You also got going with you that the Yankees suck right now. So get as big as a lead as you can to at least assure you a wild card spot. I know that's taking way down the road, but just keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome to see Baltimore. This is how you're supposed to do it, Oakland. This is how you're supposed to do it. And lastly, you said it. It's the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the best team in the league right now. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. I wasn't sure um which
thought
way
about
you
the
go with
Twins.
Orioles Rangers. Twins. I If this was 2 weeks ago, I would have probably said Twins over Rangers. But at this point, it's safe to say I think the Rangers definitely got them. I will make a public announcement here. I would like to apologize to the Orioles for disrespecting them last episode that I was in with choosing the Marlins over them. I I will rescind that take if I'm able to. If not, I'll deal with it and go Marlins for the rest of the year, hoping you can beat out the Orioles so I don't look like a total idiot. But you had to put them in your top three here. They've just been on another level this season. Um, I think that's going to do it for us, Melo. You got any closing thoughts?
Don't Dodgers, don't play into it, please. Don't play into it this weekend. Just play your game, get your 2 wins, and get out. That's it. You already know San Diego's going to do everything they can to remind this team of what they didn't accomplish last season. Just they're probably going to unveil their "We beat the Dodgers in a division series" banner on Friday. So, um, just continue to play your game and go Lakers. We're coming.
Yeah, Lakers keep rolling. I don't have a hockey team, so I can't cheer for any of that. And my Cavs got eliminated by the Knicks, so I guess that makes me temporarily. I don't even know. I root for the Lakers because I like LeBron, but
You're a
um,
bronzexual.
I also want to just shout out. Come on, Phillies, bounce back here. You got the Red Sox at home, so. Nothing else really to say. Thank you guys for watching, listening, all that stuff, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.